Annyeonghaseyo, this is meowmurai. Let's check out Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, running on Nintendo Switch. Alright, this game is finally free from the Wii U, and on the, of course, vastly more popular Switch. Let's see, I remember this camera being very slow. Cosmos? Oh, Pioneer 1.
July 2054 AD. The Earth was caught in a great battle between unknown alien forces. Their weapons were terrifying and powerful beyond human reckoning. Our planet was overwhelmed, its surface reduced to ash and rubble in the blink of an eye. The Coalition government knew the war was coming. In response, they prepared the Earth-Life Colonization Project, Project Exodus. Interstellar arcs were launched all across the planet, from every major city on Earth. Bravely, we leapt from our cradle, our home for the last 4.5 billion years. But most of the arcs never even made it out of the atmosphere. Only a small handful managed to escape. Among them was our ship, the White Whale. After leaving Earth behind, we spent 2 years wandering in space, searching. We thought of ourselves as the lucky ones, the pioneers who would settle a new world. But our past caught up with us. Literally. The alien blitz was unrelenting. If not for the efforts of a lone hero, we would never have survived. Our ship took heavy damage. We lost control. With our flight systems down, the White Whale was pulled into the gravitational field of a nearby planet. its hull shattering and breaking to pieces as we plummeted toward the surface. Since then, 2 months have passed.
Okay, what are we looking like here? The friend I used to work with, it looked almost exactly like this. Ball's not an option. Not actually a whole lot of good choices, unfortunately. That's fine.
Shall we? I'm off balance.
Attention, external access confirmed. Disengaging stasis in 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing hatch. Please stand clear.
Hey there. Looks like you're all in one piece. Careful. Just take it nice and slow, okay? Your senses will need time to reactivate. Your pod is the only one around that landed intact. Good thing I found you. My name's Elma. You want to tell me yours? You don't even remember your own name? It must be the stasis hangover. That's not good. Just try and focus, all right? Good, there we go. What else you remember?
I have a huge schlong.
It'll come. In the meantime, I'll get you up to speed here as best I can. How are your limbs? Can you move?
Got morning wood.
We'll take it easy while you shake the stasis out of your system. One step at a time, all right? First things first, you'll be needing a weapon. There you go. All right, let's get going.
Prologue, Awakening. If you're ever stumped about where to go next, be sure to check any nearby places marked with an exclamation mark. Doing so should reveal the way forward, though an occasional excursion off the beaten path never hurts. You know what to say about all work and no play, after all.
Most of the white whale's life pods didn't survive the crash, like this one. You're one of the lucky few. Right. You don't even remember the white whale, do you? You know, the L-002? The ship we escaped Earth on? You remember Earth, right? Planet Earth. Your homeworld. Or rather, it used to be anyway. Unfortunately, it was caught in a battle between two alien forces. And destroyed. Ring any bells? Don't feel bad. It's one memory I'd like to forget. I know. It's been following me for a while now. I didn't want to alarm you, but we're going to need to defend ourselves. You up to the task?
Initiate combat by targeting an enemy, then drawing your weapon. Now, what do you say we give it a whirl, I'll be here to back you up, so feel free to experiment. After you've drawn your weapon with A, you'll automatically attack your opponent with a certain frequency, but only as long as you keep the enemy within your weapon's attack range. Our special abilities your weapons give you to access. Select them with left-right on the D-pad, then press A to use one. You can set the maximum of 8 to your art's palette. After using art, it will be put on cooldown, taking time until you can use it again. Different arts have different cooldowns of different length.
Attack from range. Follow me.
Shadow strike!
Assault hammer.
Destroyed! Move in and strike!
Flame grenade.
Oh, they've updated the interface quite a bit.
You're not half bad. There's plenty of work back in the city for someone who knows how to handle a weapon, you know.
What?
Then you're interested. In that case, I might have just the job for you. But anyway, we can talk more details later. For now, let's keep moving.
Soul voice prompts are instructions, suggestions, or requests that your party calls out in the heat of battle. Successfully responding to them triggers various useful boons. When an ally issues a soul voice prompt, arts on your palette, which match the prompt's color, will be highlighted. If you use an art that's highlighted, you will succeed in the prompt. You and the prompt issuer will regain some HP and receive a beneficial effect, and your affinity with that ally will improve. Decided not to do 60 frames, huh? It's kind of disappointing.
Attack from range. Follow me.
Shadow strike! Target in sight! Screen edge!
Well, ain't that a huge dance?
Okay, I know the game takes place in the rain and the dark. At least the opening portion does, but this is pretty dark. I gotta say. Yeah, much better. That was way too dark.
Here I come, son.
You're off guard. Stagger them with the shadow strike!
Assault hammer. Got him. Now blast him to bits.
Yeah, the text is much more readable.
Now let's go find an opponent that's
Like the
worth
scaling
our
on the
time.
text in the original
Nice work.
Wii U game was, well, it wasn't good. Let's just say that.
Here I
Didn't help that the
come,
game was running at
son.
720p
Let's see
either,
what
so
you've
things
got.
had kind of a blurry look to them.
Assault hammer.
Light! Flinger! Scream and appendage destroyed. Move in and strike!
Flame grenade.
Upper hand!
There's no substitute for real combat.
Nice work.
Now,
Shadow
follow with
strike.
a real bone crusher.
Now,
Assault hammer.
appendage destroyed. Move in and strike.
Flame grenade. Hell?
I can't move.
I need healing.
I should heal up first. Shadow strike. Sliding flinger.
There's no substitute for real combat.
Nice work.
Yeah, we are going to be taking our time with this game, so this is going to be a very, very long playthrough. I just want I just want folks to understand. It's not going to be very short. There is a lot to this game, and like apparently they've added even more content, so that'll be interesting.
Flame grenade. There's no substitute for real combat.
Nice work.
A weapon's power rating is a value that broadly expresses how strong the weapon is. Whenever you're not sure what to equip, it's never a bad idea to go with whatever has the higher value in this stat. A weapon's TP gain rating is a value that broadly indicates how easily it will be to build up TP while fighting with it equipped. Keep an eye on it when you want to build TP quickly. Don't imagine we're going to have anything here. Yeah, this is bare bones stuff.
You will remember the day you fought.
Engaging. Lay down the fire.
Assault hammer.
Slide.
Flame grenade. Yes. Now tackle it up close. There's no substitute for real combat.
Nice work.
I know it can jump. That's one of the things about this game, is that have the ability to jump. I guess we learn jump later.
Attack from range. Follow me.
Target sight. Scream edge.
Now let's go find an opponent that's worth our time.
Nice work.
Here I come, sunshine.
Let's see what we got.
Flint edge. Assault hammer. Got him. Now blast him, bitch. There's no substitute for real combat.
Nice work.
Here I come, sunshine.
Engaging. Lay down some fire. Shadow strike.
Assault hammer. There's no substitute for real combat.
Nice work.
You will remember the day
They're
you
off guard.
fought me.
Stagger them with a melee attack. Shadow
This
strike.
will knock them off balance. Assault hammer. Got him. Now blast him.
Target in sight.
Work always pays off. will remember the day you fought me.
Engaging. Lay down some fire for me.
Assault!
Light! Flinger!
Swing! Ready to unload on them.
Shadow strike!
There's no substitute for real combat.
We got him. Let's move. Didn't have to be like this.
Strike first and strike hard.
Now, my turn. Slide! Flinger! Shadow strike!
Swing!
Upward hand!
No resting. Step in and face the next one.
Slide nice! Move in and do some damage.
All or nothing.
Scream edge! Shadow strike!
Assault hammer.
Upward hand!
There's no substitute for real combat.
We got him. Let's move. The rain's starting to let up, just in time for sunrise. Follow me. I promise you're gonna love this.
Oh, now that's too bright. Sometimes there's no winning.
Pretty wild, huh?
Though it does let you know that this is real time.
They're all indigenous, as far as we can tell. We need to learn to play nice with these guys if we're going to try and coexist together. We call this planet Mira. You won't find it on any star chart. But it's our new home.
I wish I would have known I would have overexposed it like that.
Recognize the habitat unit? That's where we're headed.
Would have been better to start this
Watch yourself.
first section
That
off on the
first step's a
daytime,
doozy.
so I could gauge how much brightness I wanted to add.
We can jump.
Although
if
the
you
nighttime
like.
was extremely
We can handle
dark,
the fall.
more than
But
necessary.
the indigents down there are another story. Some big, some mean, all nasty. Given our options, the high road here would be the safer way to go, relatively speaking. That said, whichever way you want to go, I'll follow your lead. You decide.
Certain enemies certain enemies you find on Mira will attack you as soon as they detect you. You can tell an enemy's detection type by the icon next to their name. Enemies with a level much lower than yours will not attack unprovoked. Non-aggressive. No icon will not attack unless you attack it. Visual will react when you enter its field of vision. Auditory will react when you wander too close to it. If you want to reach the habitat before sundown, we'll need to pick up the pace and start sprinting. Sprinting is good for times when you need to get somewhere in a hurry, or when you need to break out of an especially hairy situation. Auto 1 was right in B. Okay. Let's change the brightness because the daytime brightness is much different than the nighttime brightness. Again, I wish I would have some way to be able to tell where the brightness level should be. Yeah, because this gives you like no preview. If you fall off the cliff, don't panic. Just head east until you reach the habitat. And try not to engage in any powerful enemies on the way.
Attack from range. Follow me.
Target in sight! Shadow strike! Nice. Move in and do some
All
damage.
or nothing. Got it.
Stream edge!
Flame grenade. Now, follow with a real bone crusher.
Upper hand!
Let's go find an opponent that's worth our time.
We got him. Let's move.
Here I come, sunshine.
Let's see what you've got. Use an aura. Get control of the battle. Shadow strike.
Assault!
Now, melee attacks.
All or nothing.
That put a dent in it. Move in and keep the rhythm going. Slide!
Let's go find an opponent that's worth our time.
We got him. Let's move. have to be like this.
Strike first and strike hard.
Now it's my turn.
Assault hammer!
Slide! Flinger!
Slit edge! Yes!
Early bird.
Now tackle it up close.
That put a dent in them. Move in and keep the rhythm going. Shadow strike!
Slit edge!
Appendage destroyed. Move in and strike.
Strike first and strike hard.
Now it's my turn.
Assault hammer! Flame grenade!
Slide! Appendage destroyed. Move in and strike.
All or nothing!
Hostile neutralized. Switch to close-range combat.
Don't give them time to breathe.
Slide next. Move in and do some damage. Shadow strike. Appendage destroyed. Move in and strike.
All or nothing! Yes! Now tackle it up close.
Now it's my turn.
There's no substitute for real combat.
Nice work.
Strike first and strike hard.
Now it's my turn.
Assault hammer!
Slide!
Flame grenade!
Flinger!
Yes! Now tackle it up close.
Now it's my turn.
All or nothing!
Strength comes from experience. It's true on any planet. Looks a lot bigger up close, doesn't it? And this was just the habitat unit. The white whale was one hell of a ship. Until it all came crashing down, at least. That's the west gate. It's closed off now for security reasons. But we've repurposed a freight elevator that will get us inside. Grexes. And they're riled. We can't leave them roaming here, not this close to the gate. We're gonna have to take them down. You ready?
Weapons you use on foot are split between melee and ranged weapons. You can switch between them with X. Melee weapons can only attack at close range, tend to do a bit more damage per hit. Ranged weapons can attack at range, tend to hit multiple times, but damage per hit tends to be lower. When you use an arc, you'll automatically switch over to the weapon that the art is associated with, your melee weapon for melee weapon arts, and your ranged weapon for ranged weapon arts. Arts are associated with the weapon you're currently wielding, melee or ranged. Will continue their cooldown even after they're ready to use. This is called secondary cooldown. Arts used at full secondary cooldown will have a greatly increased effect.
Great company. Strike first and strike hard.
Now it's my turn.
Assault!
Slide! Appendage destroyed. Move in and strike.
Flame grenade!
Suck nice. Move in and do some damage.
All or nothing.
Hostile neutralized. Switch to close range combat.
I'm hurt. Pretty bad. It's in your hands. Strike.
Slide! My adrenaline's rising. Upper hand. Side slash.
That was fast.
Didn't have to be like this.
Attack from range.
Early
Follow
bird.
me.
Target in sight. Shadow strike. Yeah!
Assault him. Got it. Now blast him the bitch.
Side slash.
Slit edge. Yes. Now tackle him up close. Flame grenade.
Shadow strike. Hostile neutralized.
Always pays off.
Switch to close range combat. Upper hand. Target destroyed. Move in and strike. Slide. Slender. Scream edge. It's a shame we had to settle near so much wildlife. Luckily, some species aren't so hostile, but they aren't necessarily friendly either. I've come to learn that there's a fine line between self-defense and provoking a fight. We need to walk that line. All right, let's head in. Who knows? Maybe seeing the inside will jog your memory.
Thanks.
Oh, hello. He must be the new friend that Colonel Elma mentioned in her report. Having just woken up after all this time, I'm sure you're dying to get home and take a shower. Unfortunately, the west gate is closed at the moment. If you want to enter the city, you'll need to use the elevator at the top of the stairs. They'll probably open the gate soon, thanks to the great work you guys did killing the monsters that were causing all the trouble. But until then, you'll have to forgive the inconvenience. Please understand. I wonder if this still has the... Yeah, I think it does. It has the weird feature, I guess, where if you're in interiors, that the camera panning slows way down to an absolutely unbearable amount. Hope it's something that they fixed. Like I said, it's a really stupid decision on Monolith Softsport part to reduce the panning speed inside area, interiors. It just made no damn sense, especially for it being so slow. Yeah, the lighting's definitely a lot different, much more advanced. There's a lot more subtle shading here and there. Dusk looks like dusk.
Well, here we are. Not too shabby, huh? For a giant beached spaceship, anyway. But, like it or not, this place is our home now. We took the name from the city it was modeled after back on Earth. We call it New Los Angeles. Welcome to NLA.
And so it was that another survivor came to join our band of refugees. Together, we resolved to forge a new way of life here on Mira, come what may. New LA was our beautiful lie to ourselves. Truth is, we were adrift, heading into the unknown. Our native home was gone, swallowed in a shroud of light. And our future was uncertain. We had no idea what fate lay in store for us. Only that we had to keep living in order to see it.
You know, it's hard to believe that the Wii U was doing this too. You know. But Monolith Soft was it's a very talented company. They can perform miracles on hardware which is really not capable.
How about a quick tour of the facilities to refresh your memory? Let's start with your living quarters. Follow me.
Your living quarters?
Brave citizens of New Los Angeles, good day. This is your Director General, Maurice Chausson. Today, I once again come to you with news I am truly delighted to share. Yesterday, we repatriated 10 more White Whale crew members. These fellow pioneers will rejoin our ranks as citizens of NLA, bringing with them skills and know-how that will bolster our ability to survive and indeed flourish here in our new home. This, of course, is only the latest success in our continuing efforts.
Director
As
General?
part of my
Since
mission
when?
For the rescue and recovery of
2 days ago,
all
ma'am.
our brothers and sisters, I stand here truly humbled and grateful.
From political aid to director general in just a few weeks. At this rate, he'll be emperor by next month.
NLA and a better tomorrow.
Irina? Gwyn?
Nice work out there, ma'am.
Show interest.
Right. Introductions. Irina Akulov, Gwyn Evans.
This one of the survivors, Colonel?
The survivor. I only found a single pod intact at Starfall Basin.
Wait, what? What happened to 10 more crew members?
Come on, seriously? Shosan was never one to let the truth get in the way of a good speech. Still, every last survivor counts. You can call me Irina. I'm with the Interceptors.
Me too. Same division. You can call me Mr. Evans. Or just Gwyn.
The three of us were in the Coalition forces together. Specifically, the Special Operations Heavy Armor Training Unit, aka the Skeleton Crew. I was a colonel and Irina a lieutenant. Gwyn was a more recent recruit. Of course, I keep telling them we don't need those old ranks anymore now that we're here.
You're still Colonel to me, ma'am. No reorg will ever change that. And that's not about chain of command either. It's about respect. You've earned it.
And the award for best ass kiss goes to...
Well, I'd remind you both the ma'ams aren't necessary if I thought you'd listen.
All right, ma'am. We should be getting back to work. Until next time, Colonel.
Right. We should be going too. The administrative district isn't far. That's where you'll be calling home. For now, anyway.
Chapter 1, New Los Angeles. Lucy disappeared. She's a ghost.
Hey!
This package was meant to go to Blade Tower. It's only the biggest building in town, so I don't know how you can mess that up.
Look, I know what exhaust smells like, and it was exhaust in the cockpit. Just check the ductwork, would you?
Oh, I'm checking. I just seriously doubt... Hey, look at that! The intake exhaust bypass is reversed. Oh man, it's a good thing I caught that.
You caught that? You're the one who cleared me to fly.
Everything okay? It's not like you to flub a flight check, Lynn. Good thing you had a rugged pilot like Doug at the controls.
Oh, hey Elma. How'd it go out there? And would this be one of the you-know-whos? Cool. I'm Lynn Lee Koo, mechanic and top all-around fix-it gal for Blade.
Look worried.
Yeah, well that, doesn't usually happen.
We know it doesn't, Lynn. Look, I know what you're thinking. But believe me, young as she may look, and yes, she is young, she's actually one of our top talents.
Most of the time, that is. Most of the time.
Anyway, you guys heading back to the barracks?
Yeah. Why do you ask?
As long as you're here, why don't I take you on the transport? It's a great way to see the city. I'll give you the grand tour.
That sounds like a great idea.
Alright, Doug, I think that'll be all for today. You can clean up here and dock the Skell.
What?
Don't mind the exhaust. I'll take care of it tomorrow.
Don't mind it? Wait, why am I cleaning up your mess in the first place? Lynn! Lynn!
You can change your active party composition from main menu active members. There, you can select allies from the reserve and add them to your active party, or swap them around. Please note that there are times when you will not be able to change members. Oh, okay.
Not bad, huh? You can see everything from up here.
It beats walking, that's for sure.
The best way to see NLA. I never get tired of this view. It's like a different city every time.
It's certainly come a long way in the last few weeks. There's still so much to be done.
One day at a time.
Speaking of which, we don't really have time for a full pleasure cruise here. Why don't you give us the express tour, Lynn? Just the highlights.
Okay, you got it. New LA is divided into 4 districts. We departed from the industrial district, where Doug and I were conducting the flight test. It has food production, skill development, you know, industries and stuff.
It's also where the West Gate is located, remember? Expect to pass through there fairly often. The only other gate out of the city is in the administrative district, but I'm skipping ahead.
Next is the commercial district. Restaurants, galleries, cafes, clothing, groceries, you name it. It's a veritable shopping paradise.
The CD is the closest thing to a downtown we've got. It can actually get pretty crowded sometimes.
Well, by NLA standards anyway. Day or night, the best and only bargains on the planet. To your right, the residential district. Housing, housing, and more housing. Well, plus a nice park and the cathedral.
If you're ever looking for quiet time alone, or want to relax and unwind with a good book, that's the spot.
Right? The park is my favorite place to just zone out and chill. And last but not least, our destination, the administrative district, the nerve center at the heart of NLA. Note the distinct dual-level structure here. The upper level holds our administrative tower, home to Blade HQ and the government. Not to mention Armory Alley, as well as the barracks where we live. The lower level there is a hangar complex for Skell maintenance and repairs. And this concludes our tour. We will be landing shortly.
Thanks, Lynn. We'll save the rest of orientation for once we're back at the barracks.
Enjoy your stay in the administrative district, and thank you for flying Lindley Airlines.
Right. Let's get you over to the barracks. Then I should file my report. They'll be eager to hear the details on how I found you, I'm sure.
Well then, we better not keep them waiting. The barracks are pretty close, actually. They're set up just behind the giant blade tower here. That road there wraps around the left side and leads right to it.
We'll pass through Armory Alley, but let's not get sidetracked, okay? We can check it out later.
I know they're trying to show off all the new lighting and effects, but I would rather this place take... I'd rather this take place, you know, on clear, bright weather instead of this dark, stormy weather, which make it hard to see. Sometimes developers just want to show off too much, and it's like at the cost of just the gameplay experience.
And here we are, the Blade Barracks. Consider yourself our guest until we finish getting you registered. Feel free to come and go as you please.
Show interest.
I think I can answer that one. So, you must be the latest rescue.
Secretary Nagi!
Miss Ku. Chipper as always, I see.
What can I say? Pep is my middle name.
I ran into
Now this is
Doug
overexposed.
Barrett.
What is with the lighting? That's so
He didn't
weird.
seem quite so upbeat. Anything about today's flight I should know?
No. Nothing to worry about.
Good. Be sure it stays that way. More importantly, Elma, you found another one. Excellent work out there.
Just doing my job, Mr. Secretary.
Now, as for officially registering our new citizen here...
Why don't we talk inside? There's a lot of ground to cover. It could take some time.
Ah yes, of course. Forgive me. You must be weary from the stasis and your journey back to us. Please, after you.
I'll put on some tea.
Allow me to formally introduce myself. My name is Kentaro Nagi. You may remember me as Captain of the White Whale, but now I serve as Secretary of Defense here for New LA. The provisional government has charged me with keeping the peace, so all military and police matters fall under my jurisdiction.
He's also my superior officer. And he'd be an excellent person to talk to when you're ready to start looking for work.
What about a job right here with Blade? He seems capable.
Let's give it a little more time. At least until he knows enough to be able to make an informed decision. He seems to be suffering from some form of memory loss.
Memory loss? From the stasis?
He could barely remember his name, and nothing at all about what happened to Earth or the White Whale.
I see. Though, come to think of it, the entire lot of us have only been on this planet for what, 2 months? It shouldn't take very long to get caught up.
My thoughts exactly.
Well then, where should we begin?
How we end up on Mira, ask for more information on Blade, ask about registration. How do we end up on Mira?
It started at the end, 2 years ago. The end of Earth. The casualty of a battle between two hyper-advanced alien civilizations.
Just
Their
gonna go for it
technology
a third
and
time.
weapons were beyond our comprehension. We were like infants, naked, powerless. The Earth was reduced to ash and blown away.
I still wonder if I hadn't been there. If maybe all of this could have somehow been avoided.
No one can know that, Elma. What we do know is without you, there'd have been no Project Exodus, and no escape for any of us. Did it go perfectly? No. But we are here, and we are alive. We survived. So yes, Project Exodus. Once we learned the Earth might be threatened, we needed a plan to preserve all her various life forms. That plan was the Earth Life Colonization Project, otherwise known as Project Exodus.
Those of us who escaped on the White Whale spent over 2 years wandering in space. 2 hard years. But we clung to our mission. Find a habitable planet and settle there. We had no idea how long it would take. Or that the decision would eventually be made for us.
The xenoforms found us again, and, well, it wasn't a happy reunion. Earth wasn't enough. They wanted humanity destroyed. For better and for worse, we were close to planet Mira when we lost control of the White Whale. Inertia and gravity took it from there.
The ship had taken way too much damage to survive entering the atmosphere intact. We had no choice. We channeled all the power we had left to soft land the habitat. Once the dust cleared, we set to work transforming it into its current state. Searching for survivors, establishing Blade, installing the provisional government. Basically, making it a sustainable city.
Clarify. Ask for more information about Blade.
Blade is an acronym. Builders of a legacy after the destruction of Earth. Quite fitting, I think. It's a relatively new organization. Up there in space, we had plenty of provisions, and a crew trained to handle the limited amount of situations we might encounter in our travels. But of course, all that changed after we lost most of our ship and came crashing down here on Mira. We needed food, water, search and rescue teams, surveyors, police. The list goes on and on. It was too much for the provisional government to manage on its own, so Blade was born. The idea was to have one central organization with different disciplines to fill these various roles. Its core was pulled from the Coalition military, so it's mostly former soldiers. But fighting isn't our most important duty. Right now, we have a single top priority that supersedes all others. The search for and recovery of the Lifehold.
Take a look at this. The White Whale was designed to carry an exceedingly large number of passengers, all of them held in stasis. All housed in a structure called the Lifehold. This is a complete schematic of that facility. Only essential personnel were conscious and active for the journey from Earth. The flight crew, maintenance engineers. And of course, some military so we could defend ourselves if necessary. But the vast majority were in the Lifehold. Are in the Lifehold. With any luck, they're all still there, in stasis, waiting to be rescued. But there's a problem. We now know the Lifehold broke apart along with the rest of the ship when we came down on Mira. What we don't know is exactly where all the pieces landed. Not very comforting, I know. Blade's top priority now is locating the missing units.
Okay, sorry about that. You gotta go, you gotta go. Question about registration.
Yes. All citizens of NLA are required to register their name, age, and occupation. We also ask you report any personal assets and take a short survey regarding your current state of health. All purely as a precaution. I'm sure you understand. As the caretakers of humanity's survival, we all have certain responsibilities.
And hey, it's not all bad. Registering gets you access to all kinds of public services.
In any case, I'm sure this is all a lot to digest. You'll be wanting some time. Ms. Koo, even I'm tired of hearing myself speak. Why don't you take our guest out for some air? Perhaps a tour of the administrative district.
Yes, sir. Come on, we'll keep this briefing brief.
Alright, take a guide tour of the Blade Administrative District with Lynn and Elma and learn more about life as a member of Blade. Press R3 to display the navigation panel on the bottom right of the screen. This will show the objectives of your currently tracked mission, and etc. Track missions from the main menu missions. You can press left right on the D-pad to toggle the navigation panel's category. Categories are unlocked as you advance the main story.
You know, it's not every day we're authorized to let a civilian tour the administrative district.
Yeah. Nagi must really, really want him to join Blade.
The AD is a bit different from the other districts. It's got everything a Blade would need, all in one place, without any extra fluff.
Get a load of that Skell. Even the way that they walk is so cool. Oh yeah, work it, baby.
Ask what a Skell is.
What? You don't remember what a Skell is? That gorgeous exoskeleton that just went by? Basically like the most incredible, awesomest super weapons ever? Lasers, force fields, bipedal and vehicular transformations. Sorry, I get so excited whenever I think about it.
Originally, Skells were developed as a defensive measure to counter potential alien threats. It wasn't enough to save Earth, though. We were outnumbered and outgunned. Still, just look around you. New LA has gone from basically nothing to this in just 2 short months. We could never have come so far, so fast, without Skell technology. I'd love to get you into one to see for yourself, but it's not that simple.
Well, yeah, duh. For one thing, only Blades are allowed to pilot Skells. And even then, you need a license.
These aren't toys we're talking about. They're complex machines with powerful weapons. And they're a precious resource. We only have so many of them to go around. So yes, as you might imagine, the certification process is a fairly rigorous one.
I'm sure you're thinking, where do I sign up for the test? But it's not that simple. They choose you, not the other way around. You can't just walk in the front door and volunteer.
There is some criteria. The details are largely hidden, but basically, HQ only allows the cream of the crop to take the test. Blades who go above and beyond in their duties, and for the people of New LA in general.
So what do you say? If you become a Blade and work hard, I'm sure it'll only be a matter of time before they tap you on the shoulder.
Speaking of work, that reminds me. Why don't we check out the mission control board first? That's where we take on our assignments.
Good call. Let's head on over. So this is mission control. We don't have a dispatch system yet, so Blades usually choose their own assignments. Everyone comes here and selects from the missions available on the board.
And it's not just official Blade tasks. Anyone with a request is free to post here. Businesses, citizens, whoever.
Yeah, it's basically how anything gets done in New LA, so the board is constantly updating. Just about every Blade will stop by here at some point in their shift.
It's like our second home. You'll always find a number of Blades around here, blowing off steam or browsing mission control for their next assignment.
Whenever I get freed up, I'll stop here first thing to check for any missions I might be suited for.
Likewise. And if the assignment seems too tough to handle solo, that's what the Scout Console is for. We should show you that next.
Hey, who's giving this tour anyway? We also have the Scout Console, if the assignment seems too tough to handle solo. And Elma just said that, didn't she?
Hey!
How the heck am I supposed to pull off this job by myself? It's madness. Madness! Oh, hey, you wanna come along and help?
Ta-da! The Blade Scout Console. When the going gets tough, the tough go to the Scout Console. You know, to get tougher.
If you do end up joining us, you'll quickly realize just how important this little kiosk is. A lot of the mission control assignments are too much for any one Blade to handle. They tend to call for multiple members with specialized knowledge or unique skills. This console lets you search for and recruit other Blades to fill those roles for just such an occasion.
You can't spell Blade without team. Sorta. Anyway, awesome, right? So, you're ready to join up?
Hang on, Lynn. Take it easy, would you?
What? I'm just saying you'd have to be some kind of an idiot not to want to join Blade. Or maybe a crazy person.
Oh, and here I thought you might be pressuring our guest.
Apology accepted. Now, how about a little shopping? And I'm not talking about the stuff over in the commercial district. I'm talking about Armory Alley. So this street's what we call Armory Alley.
Blades can requisition equipment from any of the vendors here.
I won't lie, most Blade members face danger on a daily basis. Having the latest gear isn't about impressing your friends. It's a matter of survival.
True enough. And that goes not only for your personal armor and weapons, what we call ground gear, but for skell equipment as well.
You can even buy whole skells. Can you imagine owning your own skell? Huh? Oh, right, the tour. I think all that's left is the heart of Blade itself. Blade Tower.
Hey!
So yeah, Blade Tower. When we come here, it's usually to stop by Blade HQ. The higher-ups, like Secretary Nagi and Commander Vandam, will spend most of their day here. The government leaders, too. They're based in the tower. Guys like our new Director General Maurice Chosan, for example.
Blades sometimes report to the leadership here after we finish key assignments. You'll want to remember this place.
And that about does it for our tour. So, what do you think? Pretty amazing setup, right? You can't wait to join Blade, right?
Okay, Lynn, seriously, that's enough. We're not here to make a sales pitch. We just want you to have all the facts so you can make an informed decision to join us, or not. Now that you've seen where and how we work, hopefully it made a good impression, but your decision will be just that, your decision. In any case, let's head back to the barracks. Secretary Nagi will be waiting.
Mission complete. You've just woken up, so you must be feeling pretty hazy. If you're confused about anything, you can check the tips. I bet you'll find some info there that'll be relevant to your situation. Treat them as your basic textbook for surviving on Mira.
Hey.
Honey, we're home.
Yes, very amusing.
Who wants a fresh cup of tea?
Thank you, Ms. Gu, but I can't stay long. I just wanted to pass along a request from your commanding officer.
Commander Vandam? Does it have anything to do with our new arrival?
Correct. He stopped by while you were out on your tour. He said he'll come back, but that I shouldn't wait to ask you.
Here we go. I bet I can guess.
You probably can. He wants to fast-track our new friend here for blade duty with a training assignment.
What in the hell are we waiting for?
As he put it.
The commander does have a way with words.
Makes even my pitch sound smooth.
I explained about the memory issues, but he didn't see it as a problem. And to be honest, given our current need for blade recruits, I can't say I entirely disagree.
Hey, it's not me you need to convince. Blade service is voluntary, remember?
Of course, and I would never force or coerce anyone. Well, friend, what do you say? Can we count on you to do your part?
Yeah, sure.
I knew you'd make the right choice. Welcome to the organization. Elma, he can start on your team. You'll begin training immediately.
Yes, Mr. Secretary. With pleasure.
All right. Welcome to the Cool Kids Club.
Now then, let's discuss that training assignment. We've decided to start you out on a probe installation, just to get your feet wet.
I guess we should back up a bit. Here in New LA, we're using a specialized computer system called Frontier Nav to help us deploy a sensor grid across Mira. A network of data probes that allows us to monitor conditions and collect all kinds of information about the planet.
Expanding the grid and filling in the blind spots is one of Blade's highest priorities. Here, take a look at this. What you're seeing on screen is a terrain map that includes New LA and the surrounding landmass. As you can see, we've divided the area into a series of hexagonal blocks. We call these blocks segments. Together, they form a grid. We determined the most efficient pattern, given the limited range of our probes. Based on it, we know exactly where we need the probes to go. Now we just have to install them.
The sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned. Frontier Nav probes can also detect the general locations of living things in the vicinity, which comes in handy if we need to track down a blade or another citizen.
Yes, quite handy indeed. So for this first exercise, you'll be heading here, to that white sector. Go there, install the data probe, and then come back home.
Got it. East of the city.
In that case, we can take the east gate out of the administrative district, right? We should be there in no time.
I'll leave the details on the data probe installation procedure to you, Elma.
Of course, Mr. Secretary. All right, shall we?
Yeah! Training or not, let's go install the hell out of that probe.
Install the data probe on the Frontier Nav site and complete your training. Chapter 2, The New Frontier.
Man, am I glad we pulled an assignment to the east of the city this time. It'd be a long walk all the way back over to the west gate.
Hold on. Are we even sure the East Gate will be open? Last I heard, it was still on lockdown from all the high-level indigen activity.
It was, but they just lowered the threat level earlier today. The gates are officially open for business. One of our teams must have gone out there and kicked some furry indigen butt, huh?
Suggest it was you and Elma. Suggest it was Irina and Gwyn. It was us, yeah.
Seriously? That was you? Cool.
I don't think so. Those Grexes we took down were fairly routine. Definitely not something they'd lock both gates over, at least.
Then I take my cool back. But wait a sec. You guys fought Grexes? The two of you? Hey, that's still pretty cool. They've been hassling a lot of teams lately, especially how they hunt in packs and all.
Let's not get too excited. Confidence can be good. Overconfidence can be fatal, especially when you're new.
Yeah, you're right.
But enough talk. We've got our mission to deal with. Let's head out.
Roger. That probe isn't gonna install itself. Let's get to the East Gate, shall we?
This is Eleonora, Blade Support Lead, here to tell you that the segment feature of your map is now available for use. It's displayed on your handheld comm device and is a useful tool with lots of info about Mira. Give it a look when you're unsure of where you are or what to do. Yeah, of course this stuff used to be on the second screen on the Wii U, but obviously there's no second screen on the Switch. But, you know, it makes sense for it just to be a menu item. You know, as cool as the gamepad integration was, it was never really a necessity for a game like this.
Hey.
Ask Thomas about the indigens of Primordia.
Yes?
Why not get used to battling indigens by fighting some Ovis? This place is lousy with them after all. Unlike Grexes and other more ferocious indigens, Ovis won't even attack unless you hit them first. That makes them useful as training dummies. Another piece of advice, don't mistakenly pick a fight with any of the dangerous creatures near Salem Lake to the north. Numerous skilled interceptors have fallen to the indigens in that area. As noble a goal as protecting the city is, it's not worth risking your life like that. If you ever catch the eye of one of those indigens, just turn away and run. What's the deal? We're always out here at night. It's a problem with a game with a day-night cycle. Is sometimes fate would just have it that you don't get to do anything during the daytime, or you have to do all your important stuff during the night cycle, and that is nowhere near as good as doing it during the day cycle.
What?
Here I come, sunshine.
Let's see what you've got.
Fire Carnival!
Shadow Strike!
Assault!
Fire!
They stopped me cold.
What?
nothing.
It can't move. Slide! Move in and do some damage. Side
All or
slash.
nothing.
Shadow strike.
Hard work always pays off.
What? They've seen us.
Strike first and strike hard.
Early burn.
Now, follow with a real bone
My
crush.
turn. Fire carnival. Slide. Lightner.
Slip.
Side slash.
Yes. Now tackle it up close.
Now it's my turn.
Flame grenade. Now let's go find an opponent that's worth our
True on any planet.
attack from range. Follow me.
Shadow strike. Side slash.
Assault hammer.
Appendage destroyed. Move in and strike.
All or nothing.
Use an aura. Get control of the battle. Slide. Lightner. Suck nice. Move in and do some damage. What? Upper hand.
Slip.
Shadow strike.
Let's go find an opponent that's worth our time.
Eesh, almost dead. My goodness. Yeah, the sensitivity is still a little funky. Unfortunately, they brought that over from from the Wii U. It looks like, at least it looks like they fixed the camera being slow to pan in interiors. That just used to drive me crazy. Why they would make the pan so slow, just because you're inside of a building.
What the hell happened here? You don't think that one Sinicula could have killed all these simius?
Unless
Unless... what?
this is bad.
What's bad? I don't follow you.
That Sinicula. It's a tyrant.
Huh? But it looks just like any other Sinicula.
Think about it. Your typical simius is way higher up on the food chain than your typical Sinicula, right? Usually we'd find one simius standing over 3 or 4 Sinicula corpses. But here, the tables have been turned. And I don't see a single trace of any other indigents in the area. There's only one explanation. That Sinicula is a tyrant.
Let me check the Blade Report database. If there's a tyrant this close to the city, someone must have run across it. Bingo. There was a Senicula tyrant sighted not too long ago, but it was a couple of segments further out.
It could have followed the blade that spotted it back towards New LA, or come here to feed, or who knows what.
That's crazy. I can't believe there's a tyrant right on our doorstep and HQ isn't doing a thing about it.
Well, don't forget why they sent us here in the first place. Frontier Nav's range is still limited.
Oh, right. They couldn't track it if there's no local probe. They must have lost it when it went off the grid.
What's a tyrant?
The tyrant designation is given to creatures that pose a special threat in one way or another. That doesn't always mean raw strength. Some tyrants will actually register as low rank when you find them out in the field and engage them in combat.
But don't let that fool you. If a creature shows up as a tyrant, you can be sure it's got at least one nasty trait or ability to speak of. The system can't account for everything, though, so don't let your guard down, no matter what rank it assigns. Even some of Blade's very best teams have come back with serious injuries after running into a tyrant in the field. If they come back at all.
It's just that if you can handle it, see, you can't just leave it so close to New LA.
As long as you understand the risks involved. Lynn?
Count me in. The same goes for everyone in New LA, but if we're gonna settle here on this planet, we're gonna have to get used to dealing with tyrants now and then. Besides, if I need to, I can always run away while it's busy chewing on one of you guys.
Fair enough. But don't push it, okay? Either of you. If we can take it down, great, but if not, even just luring it away would be a moral victory. As long as we buy enough time to install the probe, we can use Frontier Nav to track it, or any other tyrant that comes this close to the city from now on. Just make sure you're ready before we attack. This'll be tougher than anything else we've faced.
Engaging a tyrant is no small task. It's important to equip your best gear before charging in, so double check all weapons and gear. Oh, and make sure your arts are ready and leveled up, okay? That's the step. That's the first step to becoming a combat master. This is 12. Go to main menu party fashion gear to be able to change your party members' appearance without affecting the gear they've actually got equipped. Stats and all. Each time you obtain new ground gear, the equivalent fashion gear option will be added to your collection. Jeez, there's so much. Is there even that big of a difference? Continuing your attack at particular parts of your enemies, reducing the appendage health gauge to 0 will destroy it. You can change the part you aim with right trigger and Y or A. Additionally, destroying appendages before defeating an enemy may yield additional rewards in the battle spoils.
How is this even remotely? We should weaken them just to be safe. Fire carnival! Shut up! Yes! Hit him again for me! Side slash!
Off balance. Early target.
Yes!
Upper hand.
It's like one of the best songs in the game.
Slide.
On a game that has, you know, lots of great tunes.
Side slash. Back to the dentinum. Move in and keep the rhythm going.
Off balance!
Use an aura. Get control of the battle. Upper hand. Sliding. Slinger. Touch me up. Suck him off balance. Shadow strike. Nice. Move in and do some damage.
All or nothing!
Fire to one. Sliding. Slinger. Nice. Move in and do some damage. Early burn. Upper hand. Shadow strike.
Assault hammer!
Slide. Move in and do some damage.
We are awesome!
Nice work, Lynn. You fought well. You did too. Now let's get down to business and install that data probe. If we stay here for long, there's no telling what other playmates might show up. This beam of light indicates a frontier nav site. It marks the ideal spot to bury the probe.
Okay, the probe should be ready for insertion. I'll just boot it up.
Thanks, Lynn. The top half of the cylinder contains the probe itself. The bottom half is a laser. It dissolves the soil so the probe can burrow to the proper depth. We tried just planting them on the surface at first, but we kept running into problems with the local wildlife damaging the goods. Burying them is going to save us all a lot of time and headaches in the long run. We all set?
Yes, ma'am. Whenever you're ready.
Why don't you do the honors? You can launch it right from your comm device. Give it a try.
Launch.
Good. Now we just need to give it a minute to reach the target depth.
And installation complete. We are now online with a solid connection to Frontier Nav.
Excellent. See? At the end of the day, there's really not much to it. The hardest part was calculating the ideal probe locations. We need them spread out evenly to maximize data collection.
Yep, planting probes is easy. And the more we plant, the more likely we are to find missing crew. So anytime you see a probe site, there's no excuse not to plant that sucker.
That'll do it for your training. Let's head back to the barracks and report to Secretary Nagi.
Frontier Nav probe sites, or FN sites for short, are optimal locations to plant data probes. Placing one will reveal segment recon for the surrounding segments. You can go to main menu map segments to see which segments contain Frontier Nav probe placement spots. I'm Lau, a Pathfinder. If we're gonna grow Frontier Nav, we need to install more data probes. To plant one, simply approach a vacant Frontier Nav probe site and press A. If you find a good spot, be sure to go ahead and claim it. It's common sense, really. Now all that's left is to report back to base, but first I'll let you in on a secret. A giant beast like that is usually best engaged with a skell. Neutralizing a foe like that on foot, especially a tyrant, is pretty risky, so be careful about such things in the future, okay? Second recon shows the details of the tasks that need to be performed in each segment. Each category is shown with its own icon. Resolving these increases your survey rate. If there is a segment recon task still to address at your current location, a yellow hexagonal area will be displayed on your minimap. This is known as the segment marker. The segment marker indicates the borders of the segment you're currently occupying. You can also go to main menu map segments, then select a segment and press R3 to manually display the segment marker for that particular segment on the minimap. Manually set segment markers will be displayed as a blue hexagonal area even when you're outside their borders.
Here I come, sunshine.
Punch first. Ask questions later. Flame flow.
I owe you one.
Fire carnival. Shadow strike. Slide swinger. Wow, spin.
So nice. Move in and do some damage.
All or nothing.
Early bird.
Shadow strike.
Side slash.
Now let's go find an opponent that's worth our time.
Why can't I get any power out of this thing? Oh, these wires are backwards.
Attack from range. Follow me.
Cut
Shadow
cover
strike.
fire.
Slide. Splitter.
Wild stab.
Assault hand.
Topple them. Close in.
Flame grenade. Slit.
So nice. Move in and do some damage.
There's no substitute for real combat.
Let's keep it up.
Here I come, sunshine.
Locked and loaded.
Shadow strike.
Fire carnival.
Assault hand. Got it. Now blast him.
Target in sight! Scream it!
There's no substitute for real combat.
Hope I didn't get in the way.
Attack from range. Follow me.
Target in sight! Shadow strike!
Wild down!
Assault hammer. Got it. Now blast him.
Scream it!
Flame grenade. You'll remember the day
Punch
you
first.
fought me.
Ask questions later.
Now it's my turn! Side flash!
Assault hammer. Got it. Now blast him.
Target in sight!
Flame grenade. Slit head. Yeah. Now tackle it up close.
Lay into it.
Side flash!
Always pays off.
Oh, it's too bad they couldn't do anything about the draw distance. I mean, obviously they preserved all the large draw distance for the backgrounds, but you know, various parts of the environment phase in.
Commander Vandam.
Well now, look what the cat dragged in.
Sorry we missed you last time. We could have come to meet you at HQ, you know.
Indeed. I suggested as much. Twice.
And we know how much I enjoy being told what to do. Anyway, I hear you tangled with a tyrant, way out of your league, on a training mission, no less. That was reckless, and goddamn magnificent.
So, Commander, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit here today?
Well, I can't just ask Nagi to do everything for me. I'd be out of a job.
Hey, I delivered you the new recruit, didn't I?
Yeah, you won the bet. Don't worry about it, all right? I'll settle up with you later. You know I'm good for it.
The bet?
I'm sure I'm needed elsewhere. If you'll all excuse me, Commander.
Well, that wasn't obvious at all.
Huh. Look at you two. I swear, you're like two children excited about a new toy.
Look who's talking. I don't recall ever seeing you file a request to personally train a rescue before.
Is that so odd?
It is before we'd even asked him to become a blade, little miss stick in the rear.
Usually I ask when I don't get your slang expressions, but something tells me to just let that one go.
Enough about that. Where are your manners, anyway? I still haven't been introduced to our new recruit here.
Commander Vandam is Blade's top officer.
In a past life, I was chief engineer on the White Whale. Same idea, basically. Someone has a problem, I fix it. You follow? Huh. Not much for conversation, are you?
So you still haven't told us why you're here. From the look of things, I'm guessing this isn't a social call.
You don't think?
No. So let's cut the crap and get down to business.
Ha! Sounds like you're learning my expressions just fine, Elma. Anyway, first we need Chatty Cathy here to choose a division and pull an assignment.
More info.
Pretty much everyone in New LA works for Blade, in one of several different fields. Helping to explore Mira, or to maintain order in the city, or, well, you remember Nagi's speech, right? There are 8 different fields in all, and each one has its own branch within Blade. Officially, they're called divisions. Naturally, you'll want to choose one that best suits your personality and your talents.
Let's start with the Pathfinders. Pathfinder's #1 responsibility is planting data probes, like you did on your training mission. It may not be the sexiest job, but important? You bet your ass it's important. We've only been on Mira 2 months. We don't know jack about this place. The more probes we install, the faster we can get our bearings here and give ourselves a fighting chance.
We've already detailed how important it is we expand the Frontier Nav network ASAP. So, for the time being, I'll just remind you of the highlights. It helps us keep Blade safe. It helps us keep the city safe. And most important of all, it's the key to locating the missing parts of the Lifehold, and recovering the rest of the human race.
Okay, next up, Interceptors. You met Akeloff and Evans, right? Irina and Gwen, this is their division. Interceptors have one main duty. Protect New LA and everyone in it from the wildlife here on Mira. Right now, this is probably our busiest division. Interceptors ride shotgun for the research eggheads, they escort VIPs around, and they help any other idiots who get caught out there with their pants down.
Next are the Harriers. Remember Doug Barrett, the Skell pilot conducting the test flight with Lynn? He's part of the Harriers. If you think of the Interceptors as defense, Harriers would be New LA's offense. They specialize in preemptive strikes on clear and obvious threats. But only on clear and obvious threats. They're not meant to go out and just blast any indigene that moves.
And you got your Reclaimers. These guys are in charge of finding the other pieces of the White Whale. Among other things, that is. Including anything of ours left behind after a battle. Skell debris, weapons, personal effects. It can get a bit morbid, frankly, but it's gotta be done. Until we're up and running here on Mira, and have this place completely figured out. Everything we brought from Earth needs to be treated like it's irreplaceable. Also, the search for the Lifehold. That's mostly on the Reclaimers.
Next, Curators. Curators are the first to scout ahead to unexplored territory, bringing back whatever samples they can get their hands on. Fruits, bugs, sticks and stones, you name it. It's not all picking berries, though. Being a curator also means being the first to encounter unknown indigens.
Next? Alright, Prospectors. Prospectors do Well, prospecting. They poke around, looking for minerals, resources, and whatnot. Things we need for everyday life here. We packed all the essentials we could on the White Whale, but that won't last forever. We need to be able to replenish our water and fuel if we want to survive. And sooner or later, we're gonna have to figure out how to replace things from scratch. From the socket on a Skell's knee joint, right down to the frying pan in Lynn's kitchen. Without these guys busting their butts, we'd have no future to speak of.
Next up, outfitters. All of our ground gear and Skell weaponry is developed in conjunction with private arms manufacturers, or AMs. Outfitters are Blade's way of supporting these AMs. They'll seek out anything that might inspire new weapon ideas, and even assist with testing new prototypes.
Finally, the mediators. These are the folks who keep everything hunky-dory with John and Joan Q public. Any problems a civvy has, they come to mediators. Fight with your neighbor? Mediators. Lost cat? Mediators. It's not a division for everyone. You need to be a jack of all trades, and a people person. Someone with my charming personality? Probably not the best mediator. But if you got what it takes, it's a clutch role, keeping things cool on the home front.
All right, so I think that's all 8 divisions. Any idea which one you'd like to join? Don't fret about it too much. Whichever you choose, you still have a lot of freedom in how you operate. Mediators can still get out there and mix it up, hunt indigents, whatever. And if a Harrier wants to take a break and settle an argument, that's their prerogative too. To be honest, even though it's sort of frowned upon, you can actually change your division whenever you like. So there's really no reason to stress about this. All right, you ready to choose?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and? We're on pins and needles here.
Duo Harrier.
Then it's settled?
Yep.
All right. Thank God that's over. By the power invested in me, yada yada, you're officially a Blade.
Congrats, and welcome.
I know you're gonna do great.
Now for the job. Let's get down to brass tacks. Nelson's team has gone missing. Last contact we had, they were installing a data probe out in eastern Primordia. Then, nothing.
Nelson. Pathfinders, right?
Are we talking indigents here or what?
Your guess is as good as mine, but they did have a Skell with them. You'd think they could hold their own, or at least run away.
All right, we're on it. We'll head to their last known location and go from there.
Report whatever you find ASAP.
Of course. Let's move out.
Roger that.
Chapter 3, Builders of a Legacy. You're officially a Blade now, congrats. Becoming one of us grants you access to a variety of services, including the shop terminal, the AM terminal, mission control, and more. Some services are still off limits at the moment, but I'll get back to you on those later. Ever wish you could zip straight back to a place you visited? Well, that's why we have fast travel. It allows you to instantly return to significant landmarks, as well as any Frontier nav sites that have data probes installed. Just access the map to use it. Arms manufacturers, or AM, support us from the sidelines by developing new weaponry and gear, and by utilizing their services, we can support them too. Head to the AM terminal in Armory Alley to learn more about working with AMs to make new gear. Missions comprise duties and requests received directly from the concerned parties or via mission control. They are divided into 4 categories and provide rewards and affinity when completed. Story missions. These missions advance the game's main story. You can accept them at Blade Barracks. Affinity missions. These missions heavily feature your team members. You can accept them whenever you see the relevant icon. Normal missions. Mostly requests from NLA citizens or fellow Blades. You can accept them whenever you see the relevant icon. Basic missions. Simple tasks like defeating enemies or collecting items. You can accept up to 20 from mission control. Blade reports are communication tools that residents of Mira use to share useful information as they come across. When you visit a segment for which you haven't completed the segment recon yet, you may receive a Blade report post. If you do, check your current position on the segment view of your map screen to confirm the segment recon objective and do your best to resolve it.
I think even my cooking got better.
Okay, why don't we stop it there? This is meowmurai. You've been watching Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition running on Nintendo Switch. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.